Hey guys, what's up? It's Kathy, and I'm here with a new little series that I hope to kind of continue with called Flashback Fridays, where I'm going to kind of go back into my stash and find some stuff that's really old and that I haven't used in, or maybe ever, especially like this kind of stuff, and make some layouts with it because I love all the new stuff that's coming out, but scrapbooking can kind of be a bit like fashion, right? Where like some stuff goes out of style and then it comes back in style, or maybe it goes out of style completely. Like right now, stuff that I remember, idolizing in the 90s is back in style. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like everything that I kind of wore is coming back in style. It's kind of funny seeing my 13-year-old niece dress kind of like how I used to, and I'm still dressing like that. So anyway, besides the point, it's called Flashback Fridays, and not only am I going to go back in my stash, but I'm going to grab stuff that's a bit more vintage looking too. I'm going to kind of retro it up for the next. I'm hoping to do a series of 10 where I just kind of revitalize some of that old stuff that I bet you a lot of us have kicking around. Because right now, what's in style is like bright colors and pops of black and white, and kind of that whole, vintage style has kind of gone by the wayside right now. And I'm not trying to bring it back, but I am saying that why not use up some of that stuff too? Because then you can make way for more pretty stuff. So I went back into my stash and got some October afternoon items that I had from, I think it's probably like 2010, and they were called Sidewalks, and it was a really old collection with like boys and girls and alphabets and different things like that. And the background paper that I used, the floral, is actually from a hip kit from the last summer. So it's new, but the colors and the style is very vintage, so it fit really well. And I decided, and if anybody hears any like sudden loud sounds, both my kids are home today, and I told them to be quiet while I'm filming this, but it's a 7-year-old and a 3.5-year-old, so we'll see how well that goes. The baby just went down for a nap, and I got to get this done because I'm going out tonight to a barbecue. So anyway, so I grabbed a whole bunch of different colors and items that I thought would work well, like that yellow kind of gingham. The green works really well with the greens in the other papers. It's actually from an old Amy Tangerine. So once again, I'm going back into old stuff, grabbing some old looking stuff. Those two papers, the pink and the red, are actually from the Wonder collection, but it's a very vintage inspired collection too. So, I might be working with some of that kind of stuff too, new stuff that is very vintage inspired. A lot of Maggie Holmes stuff is very antique looking. So it's going to kind of be a series on that. And there might be some really bold patterns going on, or different things, and I'm going to try to use them in ways that kind of freshen them up. So one of the things that I did was I watered down some acrylic white paint to white out, and kind of the same way some people do with gesso. I just don't own gesso. So I did it on the background, and it kind of gets rid of some of that antiquing. Like the paper is very cream, and I wanted a little bit of white too. So I did like a whitewash over it to kind of bring in a bit more white to the layout, and to kind of blend out the busyness in the background, because I was going to do quite a few layers. I'm just fiddling around now with my layers. I know in the end I don't use that navy blue polka dot paper because really there really isn't anything else in the layout that's navy blue. So it doesn't end up working as well, but I have like 2 sheets of it, so it'll definitely be coming back in a different layout. And I have lots of old October Afternoon and Cosmo Cricket stuff that's all very, very vintage inspired. So one of the things too is, even if, like, this picture that I'm using, it's not an old picture. It's not from the 50s or the 60s or the 70s. It's from maybe 2 years ago, in spring. But the leaves and everything have, that brown to them, and she was wearing that stripe. So I did just a little bit of tweaking in Photoshop to make the photo look a little more vintage looking, like bring out the browns and everything in it. And that kind of helped. And of course, I kept the white border around my photo because I like white borders, and that brings in the white again. So I'm kind of going to use creams and whites. So I have that sidewalk sticker sheet, and I use a lot of it because I have never used it, and they're so cute. Like, look at that little girl. She's adorable. So I'm going to prop her up on some fun foam because I purchased some fun foam at Michael's the other day, just one sheet or two, just because I was going to run out of my foam tape, and that stuff's expensive. But this stuff's cheap. Now, of course, it's probably not acid free. So if you guys are really into, like, it has to be acid free, don't buy it. Or if you do buy it, buy the white. That kind of thing. But I'm not concerned about it. I don't expect these to last for hundreds of years. If they last till I'm an old woman, that's enough for me. I just want my kids to kind of look through them, and a lot of the times they are more for me than for my kids. I just like looking through them and whatnot. And I'm going to use that other little girl, and she moves around a lot. And I will say this, the finished product that I do in this video, it does end up being different because I can't just leave things alone. There was something that was bugging me about the finished layout, and I went back and I tweaked it, and I tweaked the title to get it a little bit more. I found the title was just kind of plopped down, and I mean, maybe it still is too now, even the new way, but anyway. Um, I have these old, I think they're Jelly Bean Soup corrugated alphabets, and I bought those the same time I bought these sidewalks. So this was all like a big haul from like 2010. My mother-in-law went down to Florida, and I asked her if she would, if I could order some stuff, and then I'd ship it to her in Florida, and she'd bring it back. And I don't think she was very happy with me at the end because I ordered a lot of stuff. At the time, I only had my son, but I still ordered all these cutesy little things. And then my style changed, and I never used any of the cutesy stuff. So, this is my goal, to use up that stuff because I do love it. I love vintage anything. I collect old Coca-Cola stuff, and I love vintage ads. I love Art Deco. I love Art Nouveau, all that kind of stuff. It's all over my walls and everything. I love the patterns and the colors. So this, I hope I really enjoy doing this new series, and I hope it gets you guys going back into your stash and bring out that stuff that we've been ignoring, because I know I'm not the only one here that's been ignoring all of our stuff, especially our old stuff, because all the new stuff's so cute. Like Paige Evans' new line, Fancy Free. I'm not ordering it till I can get all of it. I want all of it together. I don't want pieces of it because then I'll use it and not have it for the rest of it. So I'm gonna wait, a while till it all kind of dies down and American Crafts gets their warehouse back together and start shipping stuff again. So I'm waiting for that. But in the meantime, like, why not use some of our other stuff? And everything old is new again, I guess, is kind of my idea here. I just got really inspired to go back and look through all my old stuff and grab it out. And I love that kind of, that green. That's one of my favorite colors, is that kind of green. So this stuff really does speak to me, yet I never use it. So maybe it's just that it looks too themed to me. And I mean, oh my gosh, I'm bringing up buttons. Like, when was the last time people really used buttons? We don't use buttons anymore. We're over buttons, but let's bring buttons back because buttons are cute. And they're kind of like enamel dots, but just bigger. um, but yeah, so a few of the things that I did to kind of modern up the layout, you know, was bring in the craft color, bring in kind of a wood veneer thing. It's not wood veneer, it's almost like it's a one of those really thin veneers. It says be brave. I do move it around, but I do use it. Um, so kind of doing stuff like that, using a bit of mixed media with the white background, and I do end up adding Heidi Swap Color Shine Gold, and then I think I use Peach too. I don't know why I brought in two colors, I just wanted to. But it gives it that messy look, which is something that we didn't really do back when this stuff was popular. We didn't do a lot of, either we were really heavily mixed media, I found, or we didn't do any mixed media. So, you know, kind of trying to bring all that back. And yeah, like as if I'm going to start some kind of movement. But I'm bringing it back in the sense that like I'm gonna add it to what I'm doing and see how it goes. You know, if you're wondering why I'm tapping, I'm not actually tapping because I'm mad. I'm listening to music when I'm recording this, like when I'm actually doing the layout. So be lucky that that I don't leave in the sound, because I'm probably singing along too. To knowing me, it's probably some Joni Mitchell or Janis Joplin or Anne Murray or gosh, I don't even know who else. And then I'm mixing it up with some modern stuff too in my playlist. So I've been scrapping at night the last three layouts, and I gotta say the colors are not too bad. Like I was really surprised because I don't have a lot of good lighting. I don't have that amazing lighting that Mercy Tiara or Inky Quill have with those big lamps. I couldn't even fit those in my craft room. My craft room is so tiny, so I can kind of scrap with the light that I have, which is a couple of lamps that I point towards myself, and it's actually working out really well. I'm thinking I'm going to continue the night scrapping because the kids go to bed and the baby's having a nap and my husband's home. So if the baby wakes up, he can kind of help out, so I can get a little bit more scrapping done. So I'm kind of happy with that. Something else that could kind of help in with bringing in your vintage stuff is bring in something like staples. Like we didn't do a lot of stapling back then. Back then, oh my god, like it was so long ago, right? Um, but yeah, I'm gonna try to use some stuff in a bit new ways. Stuff that's gonna, you know, hopefully. I tried to dab that off because it got really big, and then I realized it's just gonna look silly with that dot being so little. But yeah, I'm just kind of digging this new series. I'm happy with how it's going so far. I mean, obviously it's just the first one, and I gotta continue it and not let it fall by the wayside. Oh my gosh, that actually looked cute. It didn't look cute like to my own eyes. It looks cute through the camera. I wanted to bring in more gold because we didn't use a back then, you know, back in the old days of 2010. We did we didn't use a lot of gold. I mean, I'm pretty certain we didn't. At least I didn't. I didn't think to use gold or silver or any of that stuff. So I end up putting the title, and when you see the final product, the title is completely different and with completely different thickers. They're actually the Pink Fresh Studio Happy Things alphabets that I use, and I write Go See Do. I do it in this one too, and I don't like it, and I end up moving that little. I fussy cut out this little tag that says girl, and I end up just getting rid of it completely because it's getting blended out with the white background, and so it kind of just looks like my little girl with her balloons are floating off and they're not grounded at all. So I want to write Go See Do, but I can't figure out where to put it that it just doesn't look like I just plopped it down. I do kind of like what I've done at the end, and the stickers kind of match well, and they kind of help a bit modernize it. So it is going to look a little different. So just a heads up, and there will be some journaling too, just to kind of, you know, have a little something to say about my daughter and her little adventures outside in the springtime. So yeah, I think about it. I mean, you can see what I'm doing now is I'm going to end up getting rid of all that. But, so, I guess what I'm saying is, this is the first of, I hope, at least a series of, I'm hoping 10. So 10 Fridays, so come join me for the next 10 weeks, unless something happens. My son does have surgery, so I might be off 1 week. Who knows? But I'm hoping to have a little continuing series, so come join me on our Flashback Fridays. And we'll dig into our stashes together and use up some stuff. And if you make something inspired by this, oh my gosh, totally link it in the comments. And I want to go see. So have fun, guys, and have an awesome day. Have an awesome International Scrapbooking Day. And I'll see you all later. Bye.